Alright, in the midst of the cavalry battle, I'll just show our little digs here. Not there. Not there either, but there's Trevor. That guy's funny over there, by the way. But a few changes. This time I have a wagon that at least looks antique. I need to build a seat for it, but I want to rebuild the box, because the box is not original. The wagon seems to be old. I was just bringing the step stool for children to pose on, so they could sit on it like a little buckboard. But unfortunately, we didn't have any children coming to play with any of the toys. So I made a plus-size version of the Game of Graces. Unfortunately, one of the sticks got broken on the way here, but this is going to be safer for kids. It's big, so it flies slower. It's got these fabric strips on it, so it flies even slower. Got our porcelain-headed doll, an original head. Got our little doll for her, a remake. No, it's not the ghost or the doll playing this. That's actually the cavalry over there and their little bugles. Kind of tempted to go over there and just start making random noises on my little toy bugle, but I don't think they'd appreciate that. Oh, there they go. Gotta use my cane for the pain, and pills are causing a lot of muscle pain as I'm sick. We decided to try to sell some stuff. I mean, yeah, some stuff sold, but we really haven't had many visitors. It's been surprisingly disappointing. Most of the people coming to visit us are just reenactors. We were hoping to educate the public. We guys have all sorts of wonderful things. My brass lantern got damaged. I have to resolder the tube on now. These tubes are for airflow into the tank to help the flame burn higher. The earlier fixed globe style don't have those arms for air to go into the tank, so the tank has to be vented, and it just doesn't burn as high. It seems that there's some sort of vacuum pressure from the two tubes that adding air into the font to help it burn a bit better. Say hi, Holly. Hi. You look very jolly.
Thank you.
She has been just playing at the fire all day. That's all she wants to do is poke at the fire like a big kid. She likes to come and visit us. We try to get rid of her, but it's not working. Oh, we got the coffin over there just for that. Got a new piece of tollware. So tollware it's basically black japanned metal. So that's basically made out of beetle shells. It's just lacquer. And then you go over it and paint it by hand, usually not really by a professional. It's often done at home. So this one's not in the best shape. It's old, that's why I bought it. Nice execution of flowers. Let's limp on over there. I love their flag over there, but we're about to, looks like, fire off another cannon, so... Oh, here come the Confederates. Oh, it's alright to get in the camera.
No, you're good.
Aw, we killed the flag bearer. The most beautiful flag ever. They did a wonderful job on that flag. Blowing right back in their faces. I'd say the Confederates had the advantage. I see Trevor's using his beautiful East Lake with original upholstery as a rag dryer. Trevor's grandmother did all this cross-stitching. I'd say she did a wonderful job. Laundry trying to dry. It rained heavily last night, so I couldn't have a lot of stuff out. All the stuff ended up inside. Again, more cross-stitching, I believe, from his grandmother. This time I brought a lot of photos from the era. So some of the fabrics from my house, the wallpapers from my house, all 1850s, 1860s. But, well, that's a gem type. That's meant to be in a little tiny case. I don't know why it's separate. Got our puppy. Got our preacher. Got a theology book. And, a cross necklace on. Big wide lapels, typical of the mid-1800s. You see a tax stamp on paper products from 1863 to 1866. Got the crossed or clasped hands design, very typical of the 1860s during the war, because they're trying to reunite the Union and the Confederacy as one nation. Men had very large watch chains. And then these kind of like small photo, portrait, kind of fading into the mist, with just a big frame around it. Very typical of the 1860s period, just fades away. Whenever you see those, they're usually 1860s. Got all sorts of nice photos in here. This one is particularly special. Oh, doesn't he just have a wonderful look to his face, his whole demeanor? This one, love the just composition in general. And then this guy has a very, confident pose. These guys are later 1800s, they don't count, but they look so happy. And then this wonderful 1860s oil lamp, just perfect. I made my brochure finally while I was at the library. So you can pause and read it if you guys want. This is just for when I'm either gone or to use as a talking point. I had this whole thing filled with rainwater last night. Not very many casualties in this battle. Of course, for some reason, I used to think of casualties. I used to think deaths. So I was watching Star Trek Voyager years ago. I kept saying all these casualties at every single battle or disaster they faced every episode. It's like, you're not replenishing your crew because you're bazillions of miles away from home. So how are you still operating with just dozens of casualties all the time? Then, as it turns out, I was wrong about my definition of casualty. Apparently, a casualty can mean you just stubbed your toe. Got Trevor's little desk impression here. I should take off my hat to enter the tent. I did get a new blanket. So it's chromium yellow, going to be probably 1850s, 1860s. It is an antique one. It's all woven. We are hoping to find a tin typer because since that reenactment, I've grown a beard, and I would like to have a bearded me, photographed, but no tin typers here. I bought a gun today. It's packed away right now. It's a really nice one. Finally got myself a revolver, just like I've always wanted. But we'll just pop.
Union is now back into the town. Confederates quickly falling in behind.
See, Holly is stalking us. I just love the sounds of nature. I see Brock, the boy right there. He visits us frequently. It looks like a modified Greek revival. beautiful hand-painted flag. I've been trying to get a picture of the flag. It's just not been working.
My schedule
It's just so beautifully painted.
I'm attending. I'm waiting for a gust of wind to blow it.
Well, burn the town. That'll create some suction.
Yeah.
Forward, march, company, halt. Company left, direct. Forward.
Just wave.
Now they're marching through Georgia, right? There's the Zoaves. Let's take a walk through town. So here we have another Greek revival. They're very characterized by those wide faceplates and then these, I don't really know what these are called, but these angled pieces that just stop right there, much like a Greek temple. Now, usually these would have a decorative shelf over the windows. Those often get removed when they go to fix the place because those shelves like that will often hold water. Stone building's a lot newer. You know, we did a lot of construction with that kind of stuff in the late 1800s and in the 1930s. Now, obviously, all these buildings were put here at a later date. Poor kids. They're just terrified. Coop's at a bad angle. Love the stained glass in their carpenter shop. And the trellises are very cute. Backbones going in the carpenter building, but this would be what's known as a plank construction. So if this were real and not plywood, this would be vertical boards. Actually, this one might be real. Doesn't look like plywood. Yeah, this one's real. You can see a gap there. So vertical boards attached to beams, and then these strips in the middle. Plank constructions on houses and stuff were common until about the 1840s. They continue on past that, but very rare. For outbuildings like this, continues on to the 1900s. Here we see the ads marks and stuff. There's our lovely stained window, and we have a Victorian tobacco container up there. There's just so much junk. It's a nice replica of a wheelbarrow. The real ones, these sides come off, so you can have long lumber and stuff across them. Here we have, these flat ones are concrete nails, so those would be modern. But some of these are original. So modern, original. Modern ones are always flat. Got our hay rakes and stuff up there. The wood ones would be period correct with the 1860s. Now, obviously, this museum isn't meant to be just 1860s. This museum is a general museum for Hastings, Michigan. Our lovely ads marks and stuff. Is that a cultivator handle? It is. I wonder where the cultivator is. Said they were going to take no prisoners, but clearly we have a jail. Here we have the blacksmith shop. See, this one looks better. You can see the quarter sawn saw marks going against the grain. That feels more authentic. Our beautiful bank. Love the, I guess they call it a cornice instead of a corbel on that one. And the clock tower lights up at night. I guess I wouldn't call it a clock tower, but with those dressed stone foundations. It'd probably be a late 1800s bank. A lot of it's modern, the brick is modern, it's just the face and stuff, and the interior has been taken from one. Not sure about the pillars and stuff, because those are obviously concrete. It's a cute little neighborhood. Would have been a Greek revival. Gonna go to the school next. It's got a dressed fieldstone foundation. So they've planed them in 2-3 dimensions. The sound you hear is the horse plates on my Lancashire clogs. I just have to stand. It says 1869. Our lovely, slightly cracked parlor stove. Wonderful antique books, beautiful lithograph. And our assignments with all of our desks. So obviously, I know they open up. I guess they've sealed these ones shut. Not sure why. Here we have some hoops we needed some sticks for, and a random time clock. Another Greek revival. You can see we do have some original glass, just based on the waviness, but then you also see that there's replacement panels, and I'm told from years past that the cannon fire itself actually broke some of the glass. Love little details like that, and this is always a great way to hide your modern utilities. Okay, just gonna look at the very Grecian front facing of this bank. 1885 and 1908. I don't think the door is supposed to be just left open randomly, as this building is air conditioned. These glass shades, very typical of the late Edwardian 1920s era. Check the tellers. Got our adding machine. Safe that kind of looks like an oven. Fancy time clock, maybe. East Lake doorknobs. Now we're gonna close this. I think that's a little bit low for letters, but this building was moved here and modified, so you can pause that to read at your desire, discretion, whatever. These shoes are always horrible on steps, because these horse plates make it very, very uneven. Some beautiful corbels on this false fronted building. So the false front is literally just what it sounds like. It's literally just a false front. There's nothing behind it. It makes a building look more stately. So these are always pretty fancy. The taller the building, the more wealth the builder would have, or the owner would have had. So that's what they're going for in this case, is to look like a much wealthier business. Let's try this offset doorknob. Very interesting design. Well, I wouldn't call it a doorknob, but our handle. And our first impression is we found a tack store. Lovely stained glass. Should be a transom window up there with this unusual cage around it. It's not currently a transom. Transoms to allow airflow. You would open it on the hot days of summer. Cute little tricycle. You have a cream separator. Here's a child-size high wheeler. This one's not old. This is a replica that's in bad shape. Here we have a wagon to complement my wagon. This one has a more authentic box on it. Hand-painted Studebaker sign, I'm sure is modern, but it's a nice replica. One thing I hate is they're too lazy to scrape the paint off the windows and they slop it right on over. Never would hire a painter that does that. Whenever I paint and get it on the windows, it's just a tiny bit, and you just take a scraper to it and it comes right off. Our hand cultivator doesn't look used at all. One more detail is these face mount locks. They go on the outside instead of mortised in, so they're out here. Very typical in the 1800s. They're not very popular after 1900. Okay, now we have the general store. Here we have the beautiful tin ceilings. Almost like a torch and sheaf of wheat combined. Very Art Nouveau. We have our displays of accessories. So we have our jewelry, we have our watches. Got some pince-nez spectacles. They just pinch on your nose. They don't have any arms. They have some very nice clocks, actually. Tin work. That salt glazed jug down there looks particularly early. Japanese teas, very popular. Some of the stuff is pretty new as the 50s, and the other stuff like that looks pretty Victorian. Here we should have bins of flour, beans, whatever you want. I guess this is our replica Sears cat. It is our Sears catalog. Love that pepper box. And these are really good looking repro labels. I could believe that they're real. I have to see them up close, of course. I just love the ceiling. Glass bird waterer. Here we have an early refrigerator. See the General Motors Frigidaire tag there. The Olympia's probably a replica. These little signs are the details that I absolutely love, because every store, regardless of what they sold, had stuff like that they would circulate and put out. A lot of those are often forgotten. This cash register doesn't go past $1, so this is actually meant for a candy store. Large clock back there. I had one of those huge coffee mills once. Should be beautifully pinstriped. Salt and pepper shakers with what look like pin holders and salt pinches. Ooh, that looks like yeah, that's an early teapot down there. We're talking about like 1850s. And we have bowls from like as new as maybe the 30s even. Porcelain advertising roller. This is a wash basin. That is a combinette. Combinette is meant to be used for all household waste. So you dump your chamber pot in there. You dump your kitchen scraps in there. Those plates look 1800s for sure. Wonderful advertisements. Canes and parasols. Because of the medicine I'm on, I should really be using a parasol, but I'm using SPF 100. All right, these look like celluloid combs. Do not ever seal them in glass like this. They create an acid that will actually speed up their own deterioration, those early plastics. So being in a case that's sealed, if it's hermetically sealed, it's going to destroy itself over time. That looks like an original card in the early 1900s. Love that. Beautiful earlier suitcases. Photographic supplies for a large format folding camera. Hat form. Ooh, coloring for straw hats. That's pretty nifty. Is this an original? This is porcelain enameled, so this is an original door pull. Or door push, sorry. All right, real quick, this is actually the first time I've been in this building. It's always been locked, even yesterday, especially previous years. This newspaper is dated 1865. Death of the President. I wonder which one that was. Pause the video if you want to read the sign. Otherwise, here we have a typesetter with surprisingly modern looking keys and something that looks like it's probably from the 20s or 30s. They must have been replaced. It's all belt driven, so I'm going to guess there was a steam generator outside somewhere. Love these flywheels with the octopus arm, or sorry, starfish arms. We have the type drawers way out there. So uppercase letters and lowercase letters. That's where the term came from. Uppercase letters, your capitals, they go in the uppercase. Your non-capital letters, lowercase ones, go in the lowercase. Very early 1900s designs up to about 1930, but those ones are a little bit earlier. So like I said, early 1900s on those handles. I believe this is where we ink the plates that are engraved. Yep, so you roll ink onto that, and then it should have something that automatically smears it evenly. No, you roll ink onto that, sorry. and that inks that, and then that inks the type, and you stamp it. Your paper would be on this pad. Oh, here we have for lithography. So they would do one color, but they would usually have 2 or 3 colors on the ads. So every color, they have to clean this block off and do it again. So that's a lithographic limestone for transferring the inks. Now, I'm just going to show this video of the outside. I really don't want to do the stairs, but sometimes you have to. But I would much rather go from the hillside entrance at the top of the hill. Okay, you can pause and read all this stuff if you want. Let's do a slow pan. Mostly like 40s stuff. Children's toys. The downstairs really just doesn't offer much for some reason. It's all upstairs. I had some of these toys when I was growing up in the Victorian era. Hi guys. So today I'm wearing, I can't tell that it's green, 1890s vest. It's green. It's got lapels, really nice notched lapels. Got my watch fob, my 1890s trousers, they're striped. Early 1900s shoes. My button fly pants. Those are always fun. Now, I don't do wash in that old of a laundry machine, but my washer is from 1949, and I have to stand there and control the levers. Okay, here comes the fun part. See, your feet just wobble if you don't get a good bite. Yeah, I'm gonna pause on this fake bottle glass because I didn't want to fall down the stairs. And you can pause the video at your leisure to enjoy many of these wonderful watches. So my watch is a key wind watch, moon hands, works, coin silver. Do not ever just snap that shut. If it has a push button thing to open it, hold that down and then close it. Otherwise you'll wear out the catch. Now I have to open the back case the manual way to wind it, change the time of the key and stuff, but love this 1700s John Ward clock. Large format numbers. I should say a pocket watch, but basically a clock at that size. We have some pretty early watches. This one's going to be surprisingly new, but it is a fusee. So it's chain driven. That's why it's so thick. There's a little chain that runs in there. Chain's off on that one, so it's not going to work. Then they have these ball design cases. And then a separate outer case to go over the inner case. So when you see, I know there's one in here. I'm looking. Don't remember where it's at. Oh, there it is. Number 3 there. You see how tall that stem is? That's because there wouldn't have been an additional case to go around that. Love how heavy and clunky that one is. There's some wonderful pieces in here. Absolutely beautiful. Here's one with the owner's name instead of numbers. That was something you could order as an option. This watch fob has a pencil. Number 39 actually has a very early watch chain. That watch chain probably predate that watch. That watch is 1889. That watch chain is very contemporary of the Civil War. American Civil War. Love those little clocks like that. Over here they say mystery artifacts. But I'm pretty sure that's just a 1920s radio. And that's a candle snuffer. And I don't even think this bag is old. I don't even know why that's in there. So what's the mystery? Little model steam engines. I'm sure these run still. Very simple. Not exactly something with a carburetor. Just throw some alcohol in there and set it on fire. Ironically, I use a Royal. Mine's a 1939 model. And it's got an automatic feature to set your margins. So you don't have to keep changing them. However, mine's not meant for newspapers, account papers, I don't know, whatever it's for, because, you know, my carriage isn't 20 million feet long. Neat printing block. Big fishy. Okay. Our meerschaum pipes of pugs. Well, it looks like a bong. A gun that points back at the smoker, so I guess that's very poignant when it's, you know, smoking is death. I think that's a tiger. That one looks very European. I don't know if it is, but you guys can pause on the sign and blah, 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 blah. I need to repeat myself. You already know what I'm saying. Civil War theme. There's a cannon. I know it's hard to see. For some reason, these are always hard to see, the embossing. Well, actually, I know why. It's because the embossing it's not very crisp. It's not coming out very much like, say, that bottle. And the reason is these bottles were made before they invented vented molds. So they have little holes in the mold to let the air escape. So what happens in the mold when you don't have vents is all the air goes to the highest point, which is the embossing. So the embossing comes out very shallow. Scroll bottles, probably the most common of those late 1850s, early 1860s historical flasks. I have this exact same bottle at my camp, and this is one of the largest hutches I've ever seen. Hutchinson bottle being the stopper type. Don't get them confused with gravitating stoppers. Very large druggist bottle. It's a Rexall, so it's a chain brand belonging to Garrett Stilton. Here we have a baby feeder bottle. There would have been a nipple or even a long rubber straw tube thing on there. But these were hard to clean, supposedly, so supposedly it contributed to the deaths of many babies. Carnival glass, just thrift store stuff to me. Okay, so just, you know what to do at your leisure. Convenience, on your own time, blah, blah, blah. Oh, that's cute. What is number 21? It's going to be on this sign over here. So number 21 is German parlor pistol, popular around 1900. Now that one looks like it's been outside for a while. A heavily pitted barrel. Number 6 is cute. Why do I think number 6 is cute? Why do I think all the tiny guns are cute? I don't know. Why is a gun cute? Okay. I like number 11. Number 11 says it's an Allen and Wheelock pepperbox pistol. 6 shots. 1857 to 1864. The ball on the end of that one is interesting. Okay, moving on. Some antique quilts. These are very underappreciated, and because they're all hand sewn usually, not always. For example, this one looks machine sewn. This is going to take hours, and it's just a wonderful look into the fabrics of the era in which they were made. That's why I'd always date one if I were to make one, so that people in the future would know what kind of fabrics we're using. Yeah, I'm going to put this one at 1930 more likely. Maybe some of the fabric goes back as far as it says, but driving lamp. Is that a candy container? Rio. In the 1920s, Rio had the most fuel-efficient car. It would go 100 miles on a single gallon. It's also very lightweight, but it was efficient. Very fancy brass microscope. It's got coarse and fine adjustments. I'm not actually sure it's as old as they say. Yeah, it's Victorian, but with the fine adjustment, I would say it's newer. Homeopathic bottles, quack medicine. These are underappreciated things because these are all cross-stitched by hand. And these frames with the leaves and stuff, early 1900s. This one resonated with me since I've been sick, because I do feel like I need him every hour. Just something to remember. Let's go around. Others may resonate with a less religious message. What is a home without a mother? That one's a lithograph, it's not cross-stitched. And you get some really fancy ones that are made with human hair. Charity never faileth. So that would be love never fails in our modern translation. Because love and charity were translated the same. And I think that speaks to the message quite well. Here we have Little House on the Prairie when they were still in the big woods. Built in 1909, fancy. Macrame, that's something my mother used to do. For all you band geeks out there. It's a nice dulcimer. Postcards, find them in any antique store. Ocarina looks like the most futuristic weapon ever devised for the 1950s. This ocarina is not dated. Interesting. Let's see. It's clay. It's got a museum numbers on it. I don't know. I guess just none of these are going to be dated. Now here's a neo-Gothic revival church. The steeple's been shortened, but what's interesting to me is the number 2 in every window. I don't think it's just there to hold the glass. I feel like it's intentional. The steeple should be much taller. It's been shortened. The spires are often very weak and will collapse. Beautiful Eastlake hardware. Massive hall tree. pause and continue when you're ready. We should have several oil lamps there. Yeah, the pews look pretty contemporary at the church. Here we would have had a large floor grate. One of the other underappreciated things is pulpits. Love those. Perfect Gothic revival stuff. You can see they had several layers of fabric on the pulpit. Tufted stuff is very nice. Here we have a beautiful writing desk. Or would it be a lamp desk? Could be for lamps. Basically a herringbone ceiling, very nice. Vaulted. Most appropriately, it gets a very commanding view. So this is Charlton Park, Hastings, Michigan Museum, 2025 Civil War reenactment. And now we'll just take a casual stroll back home. I got a bay window. Makes it look like it should be an Italianate. Unfortunately, many of the reenactors have already packed up. They were even packing up before the battle. It's like they were really ready to get out of here. And in terms of education opportunities, it really wasn't the best for educating the public. But this is my favorite reenactment in Michigan, just because it does have that wonderful little historic village. Ah, Schroeder. It is. Well, we're just going to call it good evening, just to make it well-rounded. Looks like lots of people are packing up. They probably lowered their fly angle for the rain that we had, the atrocious downpour.
Those kind of rules.
I did. I mean, I saw them. I go, oh, there's well, that's pretty cool. Okay.
Rules are meant to be broken.
No, they're not. No, they're not. They're meant to be followed.
As you're sitting there in modern clothes.
It's 2:30. The village is closed. The event is over at 2:30. We can bring vehicles in at 3 o'clock.
No, it's, I also asked too.
All right, Trevor, can you just hold this and do
You
a
can,
quick video
you
of me?
can tear down at 2:30.
I just want to say hi to our viewers. With my longest video yet, an hour long.
I'd rather tear down and
This is my impression today.
Do what I'm supposed to do.
Got my cummerbund on. It's like wearing a corset.
to have some security down to the
That's the 2025 reenactment. That's all I gotta say.
and they were